What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to episode 113 of the Access to Combat podcast. I'm one half of your host, Hugo the Boss. Hugo got next, joined by my co-host.
It's your boy, Ray Boogie Kahuna. On today's episode, we're going to be breaking down UFC Paris, Imavov versus Borralho. And we're going to wrap it up with a couple of boxing fights that caught our interest. Before we get to any of that, my brother, please tell them what the deal is.
Like, comment, subscribe, follow Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Everybody enjoying the visual portion of this podcast, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date.
And for all of our audio listeners, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, you already know.
First fight on the card at men's welterweight, we have the debuting Axel Sola going one-on-one with Rhys McKee. Sola is perfect, 10-0-1. Fighting out of France, repping France, 27 years old. McKee, 14-6-1 overall. Fighting out of Ireland, repping Ireland, 29 years old. Now listen, I ain't never been the biggest fan of Rhys McKee. Some may say that he's a bit ass. I tend to agree with those people. That being said, listen, I've done tape on Axel. I think he's all right. I think he's got decent striking. I think he's got decent grappling. What worries me in this fight is that he is taking this a little bit short notice. He is moving up a weight class here. McKee on paper should be able to style on him on the feet, should be able to use his dimensions to kind of keep him off and do his thing. Everything is telling me I should pick McKee here, but damn it, he's got to prove it to me, man. I don't know if I trust the man. Give me Sola for the win. And in terms of betting, don't know how I'm going to approach this one. What about you, my brother?
Rhys McKee, AJ McKee, JaVale McGee. McKee in 3. No, I'm with you here. This fight stinks. I don't know if I want any action on this fight. I am not very high on McKee. I think Sola is good, but to my brother's point, moving up a weight class, going against the bigger guy here, Rhys can grapple. Alex looks like he wants to grapple. His striking's okay. Has a good jab, leans behind the jab. I'll give him that much, but back straight up, doesn't make a lot of good defensive decisions. And this is a McKee who, though he can be low volume on his back foot a lot, can thump because he is a big guy for the weight class. With all that said, I'm going to leave McKee. He is the dog in this fight. And I think this is a pure dog or pass spot if you have any interest in playing it. I think it's more of a pass spot for me because just not there. We'll see if I change my mind close to the fight time. But for now, Rhys McKee, I'll say by decision, but not sure if I want to play it at all.
Next fight on the card at women's strawweight, we have Mama B, Shauna Bannon going one-on-one with Sam Hughes. Bannon,
horrible fighter.
7-1 overall. Fighting out of Ireland, repping Ireland, 31 years old. Sam Hughes is 10-6 overall. Fighting out of Everett, Washington, 33 years old. Give me Sam Hughes here. Go straight to the chase. I ain't never been high on Mama B. I think the woman's overrated. She did not impress in her last performance. She got a sub on a woman who's the queen of wushu, no kind of ground game, gave her the arm. Sam got the wrestling edge in my opinion here. She's tough, she's durable, she's a dog, she walks forward. If there's any fight Sam Hughes could get a finish in, it's probably this one.
Sub props are gonna look nice.
But give me Sam Hughes by decision. The only thing I do worry about is that Shauna Bannon, listen, I don't like her, but the footwork, she's got it. And she is a quote-unquote striker. She should have the quote-unquote striking edge here. It could look a lot like the De Leon fight a bit, but give me Hughes here for the win. I just don't agree on how wide Hughes is here.
Hey.
Pause.
Yo, God.
No disrespect. But, you know.
The line, ladies and gentlemen.
The line, ladies and gentlemen, please. Sam Hughes, I technically do like as a dog when I bet her. She's a favorite. She's a wide favorite. This is women's MMA. Just gonna leave it at that. Sam Hughes for the win. My brother, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm with you here. And I'm with you on Shauna Bannon's last performance.
I'm not impressed by your performance.
Not at all.
We played the sub just because it was a fat number and we knew that Pooja could just fall into it, which she gave her the arm. Yeah. I guess she did. It was bad.
She was begging for it.
I mean, we hit big on that, which is good. But to my brother's point here, I'm on Sam here. I think Sam might lose the first round. That's an interesting prop, maybe. Maybe Shannon's spread. God, pause.
Come on, man.
The plus 3.5, ladies and gentlemen.
Plus 3.5, ladies and gentlemen.
The plus 3.5 because I think she can win the first round, but I think as this fight progresses, I think Sam Hughes is going to bury her with the wrestling. I also will be looking at Sam Hughes' sub because I think that's viable here. Shannon's grappling is okay, but it's
And Hughes has fought better jiu-jitsu players, to be honest. So
yeah, and pass guarding them and beat them up.
Yeah.
So for me, I mean, even Jacqueline Armarine, she had her dead to rights in that fight. Armarine just like toughed out the choke, right? So this is an interesting sub play for Sam Hughes. That's the way I would be looking at this fight. Or maybe Shannon Bannon's plus 3.5 if it's like a big enough number. But Sam Hughes by sub here or decision is how I'm looking at this fight. And that's how I think this fight's going to go. So give me that for the lean. We'll see how we're going to bet it close to the fight night.
next fight on the card at men's middleweight, we have Brad Tavares going one-on-one with Robert Bryczek. I think that's his last name.
I think so too.
Tavares, 20-10 overall. Fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, 37 years old. Bryczek is 17-6 overall. Fighting out of Poland, repping Poland, 35 years old. This one's an interesting one because we got Tavares on one side. He's the veteran. He's got a lot of experience. He's been in the UFC forever, right? But his last couple wins have literally just come to a couple of 40-year-old guys that he should pack up. But, you know, we know Brad Tavares kind of struggles with packing people up.
Yeah.
Robert, on the other end, didn't have the greatest debut. Lost against a guy who I think is kind of ass. But Robert's got boxing. Robert's the younger guy here. Even in that fight that he lost, I don't think he looked terrible. I think the way to beat Robert is to grapple him, and Tavares is not the type of guy to push grappling. Tentatively, not with the most confidence, give me Robert here for the win. If Tavares was a dog, I think he would have been playable because of the UFC experience and all that stuff. But give me Robert for the upset.
Yeah, I'm with you here. And this is just a value play. If you're asking me who I think is going to win the fight, it's probably going to be Brad Tavares. Brad can just wrestle this guy, if I'm being honest. And
He could
hold him down for 15 minutes and win a decision. If you're going to play Brad, I think you play him by decision. I don't think he's going to finish this guy. Brad has a hard time finishing his lunch on the way to the gym. For me, this is Brad Tavares by decision or Robert Bryczek by knockout. Robert has the boxing. The only thing is, if you've seen us cover this guy, we have covered this guy, ladies and gentlemen. And the reason you probably can't remember is because the last time he fought was about 1.5 years ago. He got beat up by Patterson, who we don't have him high on this podcast at all. He has good hand speed. He's big when he moved down to 85.
He's a decent striker. I'll give him that, but
that's about all. Yeah. And great Jesus tattoo, I think, so on the chest. It should be on his back, but I feel that this is Brad's fight to lose. But I can't get behind this minus 290 line. This is a guy who does not finish fights. This is a guy who got tagged by Chris Weidman. This is a guy who struggled against a smaller Jun Park, the Iron Turtle. By the way, we're high on him. So
Iron Turtle's just underrated in general.
He's underrated in general, but it's a fight that Brad had avenues to win and just did not exploit them. He is a guy, he's one of the biggest what-if stories in the UFC. I feel like he was championship material at one point, no longer. Give me Brad Tavares to win this by decision, but man, for a bet, it might be Robert at this line because him sitting at plus 215 when I know he's going to push the action. And Brad's probably not going to wrestle him unless he panic shoots. Is probably the way. But what gives me hesitancy in terms of getting behind Robert, if you look at the promotion he was prior to the UFC and prior to the Pretoria fight, for a lot of guys that don't belong in the UFC, for a lot of bums that don't wrestle. I mean, there's a lot of glaring things not to like about Robert, but we'll see how we play it close to the fight night. But give me Brad Tavares by decision. Robert has a possible dog play.
Next fight on the card at men's welterweight, we have the future Sam Patterson going one-on-one with the truth Trey Waters. Two generic ass nicknames, but hey. Patterson, 13-2-1 overall, fighting out of the United Kingdom, repping England, 29 years old. Waters, 9-1 overall, fighting out of Jacksonville, Florida, 30 years old. This one's an interesting fight because I'm not too high on either one of these guys. I've slowly gained a little more respect for Sam Patterson. Let's keep it a buck, because when he got washed by Azmouche, I thought the man was ass.
I think Azmouche is underrated, though.
I think it was a combination of Azmouche being underrated and Patterson maybe having some UFC jitters, because ever since that fight, 3 finishes in a row. Now, okay, he's been packing up cans, right? But that's what you're supposed to do with cans. You put them on the shelf.
He's also committed to a higher weight class. I don't think he's depleting his body as much.
Yeah. And, as we've seen, he's got good jiu-jitsu. He's got decent grappling. A little bit of an underrated striker, in my opinion. But he still has those technical flaws where he kind of leaves the chin up and, he's ready to get sparked at a moment's notice. Now we got Trey Waters on the other side, a guy who I try to fade in was it his last fight?
Yeah.
And, I was very close. My brother was on the opposite side, We had a little bit of a side wager and,
Yeah, I chose Trey Waters not to look like Crystal Waters. You feel me?
Yeah, for me, it looked like Camp Crystal Lake. You know what I'm saying? It was rough out here. I was in deep water with Trey Waters. But, you know, Trey, I think he's the better striker here, right? Also a finisher on his own end, pause, but not at the UFC level. Really haven't seen it there yet. Does have decent takedown defense, but I think that's partly to do with the man is 6'5" at welterweight.
Humongous for the weight class.
The fact that he makes the weight is
Insane.
I go back and forth on this one. I feel like Trey Waters should be, and also just so I don't forget, Trey Waters, the chin is also a little suspect. Now, if I had to pick, I do trust Trey's chin over Sam's chin. But in terms of a pick, I think I'm going to lean Sam Patterson here. Waters, I'm assuming he might be the dog.
Yes, he is.
Probably a decent dog play, depending on how the line shakes out. From a betting perspective, I do like probably this fight not to go. Maybe under 2.5 if they said it that way. Give me Patterson for the win here. I think it's either Patterson by sub or Waters by KO, or maybe even
Waters by decision.
Waters by decision, who knows? But I'm tentatively on Patterson here. What about you?
Yeah, this is a very high variable fight. It's a fight that it's so well match made that I don't want to get behind it. Like right now, it's a fight that I'm probably just going to enjoy. I don't know if I'm going to bet it. I feel right now like I'm not going to bet it. Yeah. But I'm with my brother here. Sam has the clear grappling edge. Trey has been subbed 3 times by 3 guys who are 6 feet and under in the first round. And Sam pushes the grappling heavy. But the problem with Sam is, and I wish he had better striking defense, he fights in a big man's defense, likes to fight a lot of smaller opponents, which he's pretty much used to at this point because he's so big for the division as well. Keeps his chin straight up and likes to move his head backwards as opposed to moving his whole body. He likes to like lean as opposed to moving and shifting his legs and moving out the way with his hips and things of that nature. And you can't really do that with Trey Waters because Trey Waters is a pretty sharp shooter with his jab and his right hand down the pipe. So either Sam Patterson is going to look like Pat Patterson or Trey Waters is going to look like Christopher Waters at the end of this. And that's my analysis. But if you're asking me, I'm going to lean Pat because he got the submission upside, but if Trey knocks him out or goes to decision, am I going to be surprised? No. So for me, this is a dog or pass fight, but I don't know if I have enough cojones to get behind the dog here in Trey Waters. Give me Sam Patterson for the lean. Not sure I'm going to play this.
Next fight on the card at men's featherweight, we have the Jaguar, William Gomis, going one-on-one with Robert Ruchała. Gomis is 14-3 overall. Fighting out of France, repping France, 28 years old. Ruchała is 11-1 overall. Fighting out of Poland, repping Poland, 27 years old. Give me William Gomis here. Listen, I'm not the biggest fan of Gomis. Not because, I don't think the guy's, skilled or, anything like that. I just think the guy is a little boring.
Agreed.
Let's keep it a buck. But the guy, I think on the feet is going to be way more technical than Robert here. When it boils down to it, I think Gomis is probably going to be able to stop whatever Ruchała wants to do in terms of like grappling or takedowns, because that's what Ruchała wants to do. Ruchała, watching tape on the man,
I'm not impressed by your performance.
The man was ass. I struggle to find anything redeeming in the guy's game.
So what you're saying is
you absolutely suck.
I mean, listen, he was a champion. Don't get me wrong, but in a promotion where
Yeah.
I mean, let's keep it a buck. I mean, he can grapple. That's what he wants to do. I think Gomis should have him covered here. This is Gomis at home in France. A guy who typically doesn't push the pace. Ruchała typically struggles against guys who do push the pace. But, Gomis going to have that extra juice at home. He should be able to style on this guy. Give me 3rd round decision. Probably a little more decision, but Gomis is the side here for me. Robert's a bum.
Yeah, I'm with you here.
Horrible fighter.
I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed by anything I've seen on the footage. I have a hard time understanding what he wants to do in fights. That's a problem when you're analyzing footage, right? So for me, unless he being Ruchała, drinks the Black Panther juice and turns into Prince T'Challa,
Prince Ruchała.
He's going to get fucked up in this fight, in my opinion. I think Gomis is going to keep him on the outside, throw the teep kick. Even if Ruchała does decide to engage in the wrestling and the grappling here, I feel like Gomis has got him covered. He's very good at getting to the body lock, turning you around, then taking you down, then riding you little knees to the body just to stay active, clinching and then breaking the clinch with an elbow and then exiting properly. Makes a lot of good defensive decisions. This is a lot to ask for Ruchała on a fucking debut against a guy in his home country. And I feel like they just need a body for Gomis here. So Gomis not being a prolific finisher, I'm going to take Gomis here by decision. Ruchała has only been stopped once, if I'm correct. And that was via soccer kick to the body. If you're asking me, Gomis he's not a guy that looks to finish his food. So he's a big advocate for France. This is a French card. All the stars are aligned. Give me Gomis here by decision.
Next fight on the card at men's welterweight, we have Rinat Fakhretdinov going one-on-one with Andreas Gustafsson. Fakhretdinov is 24-2-1 overall, fighting out of Russia, repping Russia, 33 years old. Gustafsson is 12-2 overall, fighting out of Sweden, hailing from Sweden, 34 years old. This fight also perplexes me in many ways.
This fight's lined at a pick 'em, by the way.
To be honest, I get it.
Just for context, so you know, when you go forward with this analysis. So,
because Fakhretdinov is one of these guys who I think we know what he is. I feel like he's kind of been skating by with some of these wins.
So a fraud. That's what you think he is.
You know, that fight against Delija, he lost.
Oh, man, it was fucking egregious.
You could argue he lost against Dalby.
Yeah.
He almost got finished by Elizu Zaleski. I mean, his best win is what? Brian Battle, a guy who just got cut for not being able to make weight.
He fought Kevin Lee too, right?
Well, Kevin Lee.
Yeah, by name value, but it's Brian Battle.
It's Brian Battle. And then we got Gustafsson on the other side here who, you know, self-admittedly in his last fight went full simple jack on a man and chaos with him. The guy's hittable, but the guy's aggressive. He only knows like his button on the controller is stuck on forward.
Yeah.
If you're on a keyboard, he's holding W. The guy walks forward, bull in the china shop, only knows one way to fight. He fights like his Viking ancestors for Valhalla. Like, you know,
yeah.
It's a weird fight. This is a fight where I feel like everybody and their mama is going to be on Gustafsson. I think I'm going to be on Gustafsson. Let's keep it a buck, but Fakhretdinov's a fucker, man.
Fakhretdinov.
He's a fuck.
Fakhretdinov.
For some reason, he just finds wins, and I don't know, 50-50 split. It's hard for me to get a great read on this one. Give me Gustafsson, give me Bane here to go simple jack on this guy and hopefully gas him out, beat him up, finish him out, pause for the win. I don't know how I'm going to approach this one from a betting perspective. I'm probably going to look like a dumbass when Fakhretdinov finds another win.
Yeah, this is a fight where I think it's Fakhretdinov early, Gustafsson late, man. Because Gustafsson does not get tired. The dude walks forward, throws damage, lands damage everywhere. You're not really safe with him anywhere.
The guy's he's like a walking Tekashi 6ix9ine song. Violence and noise. Guy's insane.
Not the snitching part.
No, not the snitching part though.
Stupid. I'm not going to get the chance.
Hey, that's what Fakhretdinov's going to say. He somehow squeezes out a win. I don't know how he's going to do it, but
yeah, I'm with you here. I'm going to lean Gustafsson, man, but man, this is a fight that I probably have no interest in taking part of. I think it's so high variance, and from a fan standpoint, I'm on, but like from a betting standpoint, it's like, holy shit, how do you cap this fight? Fakhretdinov, to my brother's point, I just feel like he's been getting lucky with the judges. That's it. But can he control Gustafsson maybe one and a half rounds? Yeah, he can. He totally can. But could Gustafsson bury him late? 100%. So for me, I think you play this Fakhretdinov early, Gustafsson late. That's how I would look at it. That's the only way I would look at it. And that's how I'm going to leave this fight. I'll lean Gustafsson for the official lean for the podcast, man, but not with a high degree of confidence. This fight can go either way, in my opinion. So, but Gustafsson's the official lean for the podcast.
Next fight on the card at men's heavyweight, we have Marcin Tybura going one-on-one with the debuting Ante Delija. Tybura, 27-9 overall, fighting out of Poland, repping Poland, 39 years old. Delija is 25-6 overall, fighting out of Croatia, repping Croatia, 35 years old. This one is a hella interesting fight because we got on one end Tybura, a perennial ranked heavyweight. Is he ranked? I don't even know if he's ranked, but perennial heavyweight, a bit of a gatekeeper. You know, he's never going to win the belt, but you know, the guy walks forward. He throws punches and bunches. Will mix in the grappling. The grappling is a little overrated because the shot selection isn't really the greatest, but he'll mix it in just to get guys thinking. And at a heavyweight level, when you get these heavyweights thinking, hey, listen, you got a leg up on the competition, right?
No doubt.
Now we got Delija on the other side here, who I think he's currently the dog. I don't know if that's because he's coming from the PFL. And, you know, there's this trend of guys coming over from, you know, the co-leader and stinking up the joint. Tybura has the experience. Ante Delija, in my opinion, has got the wrestling. I think he's decent. I know he's 35. It's a little scary. I know he's coming from the PFL. Give me Delija here for the win. I think he's going to be able to kind of squeak this one out. I say late round finish or decision. I think he breaks the stigma here. I mean, listen, MVP has success, but nobody likes to mention that man.
Yep.
Eddie Alvarez has success. Nobody likes to mention that man coming over, right? Give me Ante Delija here for the win. Late round decision. That's the way I'm feeling. What about you?
Yeah, I'm with you here. And believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, this is actually a rematch. He fought him in M1. He lost via leg injury in that fight. Ante Delija's going to get this lick back. Tybura is 39 years old. I just feel like Ante Delija is going to be the bigger guy here. He's the younger guy. I trust him to throw more volume. I probably trust Tybura to get the grappling going, but Ante Delija does have decent takedown defense from my recollection. So for me, bigger, younger guy, this is a rematch. Rematches always seem to go very differently, particularly at this weight class and with fighters of this skill level and at this level. So for me, I think this is Ante Delija's fight to lose. Give me Ante Delija here to win. I'll say it'd be a knockout, but we'll see how we play this close to the fight time.
Next fight on the card at men's light heavyweight, we have Oumar Sy going one-on-one with Brendson, the Gorilla Ribeiro. Sy is 11-1 overall, fighting out of France, hailing from France, 29 years old. Ribeiro is 17-8 overall, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 29 years old. This is a step down for Sy.
Big step down.
He's at home. I feel like they're really trying to get the man a win. Coming off a very, in my opinion, a disappointing performance against Alonzo Menafield, the guy who I think he should have packed up.
Should have stopped him.
Oumar Sy is a gifted guy with grappling, with power. The striking's a little bit, cheeks, but he don't really need it. And I'm saying he's a ground and pound specialist.
Him and Johnson, I made it as my wet dream. Low-key, like.
He should be able to put Ribeiro away, but sometimes I don't know if I trust this one completely. I wouldn't recommend putting the man in your parlay if I'm being completely honest. Ribeiro is the type of man, hey, listen, you can get past me, but you got to work for it a little bit. He's not technically a bum. He's not technically good. There is a little upset potential here on the Ribeiro side, but I think Oumar Sy should be the side. Give me Sy here. Ground and pound finish. If he loses to Ribeiro here, I think we need to kind of reevaluate, where we have Sy here in terms of his potential prospects in the UFC.
Yeah, it's Oumar Sy, and to my brother's point, if he loses this fight, it's time to have a conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got to say. But if you're asking me, I think he should be able to handle this. This is a guy, he's lanky as hell, strong. Ribeiro is a gifted athlete. I just still think he's super raw potential. So there is a possibility he can lamp him. I agree with my brother on not throwing Oumar Sy into any of your parlays because Ribeiro can lamp him. Low-key, that can happen. And he has been working on his ground game. He subbed that bum that we faded 2 weeks ago, ladies and gentlemen. So with that said, I just feel like, it's a situation where he has been working on things, but we need to, basically analyze the expectations here.
But Ribeiro's a low barrier of entry, but he is a barrier. So,
and the thing is too, because of the last performance, is he going to finish Ribeiro? He should. Or is he going to fucking dance around him and try to outstrike him and
maybe just hold him down?
Hold him down and just hug his leg, So, sorry, man. I agree with my brother here. Oumar Sy's the lean. Not sure how I'm going to play it.
Next fight on the card at men's featherweight, we have Patricio Pitbull going one-on-one with Lucene Queta. Pitbull is 37-8 overall, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 38 years old. Queta is 16-1 overall, fighting out of Belgium, repping Belgium, 27 years old. This fight is kind of interesting and probably not the most conventional way you would think, right? I mean, Pitbull, kind of a quick turnaround here. I'm curious as to maybe the reasoning why he's taking a fight so soon after his last fight. I think he just fought in July, right?
Yeah.
That was against Dan Ige. This is against a guy who's not even ranked, making his debut on the other side of the world. I'm just going to assume maybe Patricio thinks that he doesn't have that much time on the clock and, he's got to capitalize on the win against Ige, get back in, into the graces of the, UFC contendership, right? I think he wants a belt.
Right.
Queta, on the other hand here, making his UFC debut, I mean, I guess it says a lot that, they don't have no problem matching up against Pitbull, right? That's kind of I guess, the faith that the UFC kind of has in the guy's potential. Explosive, athletic, has get-up jitsu, definitely went to the Derek Lewis dojo to learn that.
Where the Texas boys at?
Where them Texas boys at? He reminds me of a bit of a mini what's his name? Abete Gaudier? I think that's his name.
Yeah, that dude just carved out of stone.
Another guy who's just extremely athletic, gifted, powerful, hits hard. But I mean, Keta just still, even with 17 fights on his record here, still looks a little raw. I mean, he's got the dimensions. He might have the speed, and that kind of does scare me here against Pitbull, who is 38. Who is getting older. But Pitbull's got fucking experience. Pitbull's got the footwork. Pitbull's got the technique.
The timing.
Say what you want. I mean, people just really keep harping on his debut fight in the UFC against, what's his name? Yair, but like
we said on this podcast, ladies and gentlemen, it's just a bad stylistic matchup for him.
Yeah,
and we said it, and it went exactly how I said it was gonna go. And what did we do? We turned around with Ige, and he was a fucking dog in that fight. And guess who cashed on that fucking ticket? This podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
I think this is Pitbull. He's gotta be very careful in the beginning. I'll keep it a buck because again, Keta's fast. He's explosive.
He cracks.
And Pitbull ain't really known for the most durability when it comes to the chin, right?
Not anymore, at least.
So I'm not saying that Pitbull really has to pitch a perfect game, but it's got to be a bit of a no-hitter, if you know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to get tagged up a little bit, but he's got to minimize the damage, mix in the grappling here. If you like the Keta side, it's probably ITD. This feels like decision to me. Give me Pitbull for the win.
Yeah, what's crazy is they got Pitbull as a dog in this fight, and he's sitting as high as a plus 175. And if you're asking me, I fucking get it, guys. But if you're asking me, once again, he's the better fighter. He just is. He makes better decisions. His timing is really good. This dude, Keta, we've seen him get cracked on the regional scene and like wobbled. I mean, like, dude a wobble with me kind of shit. And if you're asking me, Pitbull has the clear grappling edge here. He's going to have a hard time, I think, wrestling him down initially.
Like holding him down, for sure.
Yeah, but the thing is, I won't even say holding. I think once his bat hits the mat, I think Patricio has good enough control where he can cut into his guard and mount him whenever he wants to. The reason Keta was able to get up in a lot of his fights is because those guys weren't really applying great technical application to knee cutting on the inside hip to get the mount or maintaining a deep half or doing things like staying in side control and landing damage there. Everyone has gotten to side control on this guy, but everyone keeps trying to advance or they advance too early and sloppy, right? So he's an explosive kid. Don't get me wrong. If he knocks Patricio out, I am not going to be surprised.
No.
I just think Patricio at plus 175 is a little crazy considering this guy, Keta, swings wide, walked into punches, leans too much on his chin, and this is a guy in Pitbull who just hurt Dan Ige, and he's the first guy I've ever seen hurt Dan Ige with just these. Not with the kicks, he hurt him with the hands, and he hurt him because he caught Ige coming in, Ige being another guy who has great timing and great fucking durability. I'm on the dog here, man. I'm on the dog here, and I think because of his experience, his punching power, his delivery system, his ability to work in the grappling, I think this is... Like, if Keta knocks him out, I'm not going to be surprised. But if Pitbull wins here, I'm not going to be surprised. So for me, it's like, this is dog or pass all day. Give me Pitbull. You heard what I said. I ain't going to say it again. These Bellator boys are here, and they're not underrated. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? If Pitbull was about 6 years younger, he'd be a minus 300 against this fucking guy. I'm going to play the money line here because he's plus money, heavy plus money. But follow us on all social media platforms to see if we're going to play it close to the fight time.
Next fight on the card at men's lightweight, we have Fakhretdinov, the smile killer, going one-on-one with Caio Fernandez. Ziem is 17-4 overall. Fighting out of France, rep in France, 28 years old. Fernandez is 10-2 overall. Fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 30 years old. Now on paper, it's looking like kickboxer versus kickboxer here. But give me Ziem. Ziem, it just really boils down to two things. I trust the guy's process. I think the guy's a very careful, technical striker who also has the grappling advantage, in my opinion here, and I think that's going to be key. Caio Fernandez, very good striker in his own right. I love his striking. I think he hits hard. I think he's dynamic. I'll go as far as to say he's probably the better striker of the two guys here. But Ziem, he's not a low IQ fighter. I think he's going to come in with a game plan. He is going to be at home. I think it's going to really boil down to the wrestling / grappling. I think he's going to be able to negate a lot of what Fernandez is going to throw at him. As long as he doesn't get caught, I think this is Ziem's fight to lose. Give me Ziem for the win here. I stayed by decision. If you like the Fernandez side, it's probably ITD. The sub does scare me. I think Fernandez does have some jiu-jitsu, but I'm going to be leaning Ziem, the hometown boy, for the win.
Yeah, Ziem's the better fighter all around. Outside of the striking, I think that's what Fernandez got him, but all around, as an MMA mixed martial artist, it's Ziam all day. Ziam, this is his fight to lose. He should be able to mitigate the striking. To my brother's point, the grappling is going to be a big issue for Fernandez, and Fernandez does gas. I could see a second or third round stoppage for Ziam. Fernandez is going to have a hard time with him on the floor, even though his jiu-jitsu is tricky. But to my brother's point, as he always mentions on this podcast, good wrestling always mitigates good jiu-jitsu. So for me, I know it's a heavy money line. I see why you may want to parlay them. We try not to do anything more than 2-leg parlays on this podcast. 3-4 legs always get you in trouble, so we tend to stay off of them. But if you can find a way to parlay Ziam with another leg or like a prop that will get you down to plus money, I don't hate that at all. Give me Ziam here to win this fight. I'll say second or third round stoppage. I think the wrestling's going to be a little too much for Fernandez. He gets him the fuck out of there.
Next fight on the card, at men's light heavyweight, we have the Baltic gladiator Modestas Bukauskas going one-on-one with the Bear Jew, Paul Craig. Bukauskas is 18-6 overall, fighting out of England but repping Lithuania, 31 years old. Craig, 17-9-1 overall, fighting out of Scotland, repping Scotland, 37 years old. I can't believe I'm saying this, but in the year 2025, give me Modestas Bukauskas for the win here. He's going to be my pick. He's going to be my lean. I just think Paul Craig, unfortunately, striking isn't really that good. He's 37 years old. His entries are kind of ass.
Astronomical amount of damage too.
So much damage. He's one of the most intense guys pre-fight. But fights like a kitty cat when he's in there. Unfortunately, a little bit of meow. And listen, to Bukauskas' credit, he's a good kickboxer who has been improving in his grappling and wrestling game as well. Do I recommend he goes to the grappling here? No, don't give Craig a chance. I think if he goes to the wrestling here, it's going to be a mistake. It's literally Paul Craig's only way to win. I think if he keeps his standing, it's either decision KO.
Probably KO.
I just think Paul Craig is just a little bit old and a little bit washed.
Craig 6 years ago, 5 years ago even, I play him here. But I don't trust his chin anymore. I don't trust his durability. I think he could walk into a knee here, get dropped, and just melt. Bukauskas, you don't fall into his guard, you win this fight. So just don't be a dummy and you win this fight. And unfortunately, this is a guy who we actually had enough cojones to play him against Rivera. I said Rivera because it's Rodolfo Vieira, but it's Vieira, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Rodolfo Vieira. And Rodolfo actually improved while Bukauskas just, I guess, slept on him. Because we've seen Bukauskas get up from getting taken down from Caio Borralho and other better wrestlers than Rodolfo Vieira and Paul Craig. But Paul Craig, not the best wrestler, not good durability. Bukauskas should knock him the fuck out. Give me Bukauskas here by knockout. That's how we play this fight. Can't bet Paul Craig at 37 years old with the amount of damage he's had in the year of our Lord.
Next fight on the card at men's lightweight, we have the Zulu Warrior, Balaji Oki, going one-on-one with the Dragon, Mason Jones. Oki, 10-2 overall, fighting out of Belgium, repping Belgium, 29 years old. Jones is 16-2 overall, fighting out of Wales, repping Wales, 30 years old. Now I'm going to really try to keep my biases aside here because I'm a Jones fan. I'm a big Mason Jones fan. I don't think he should have been cut from the UFC initially. He came back. His last performance was impressive, but at the same time, let's pump the brakes. It was Jeremy Stevens. I get the name, but it was against a guy who hadn't fought MMA in 3 years. He was a semi-retired bare knuckle boxer who kind of got worked. Jones took that man to the shop.
I mean, Jeremy landed on him too. So credit to Jeremy.
And listen, again, credit to Jeremy. He landed on him. And that's what kind of scares me here. Jones, I love the guy. Leans on his chin way too much, very hittable. But the guy's got skills. He's a decent boxer, throws decent kicks, will mix in the grappling at times. He's going against a Balaji Oki here, a guy who I think is an underrated striker. I think he's a bit of an underrated grappler. I don't know how much success, honestly, I really don't know how much success Mason Jones is going to have in the grappling department. He should have some success here, but Oki is a very athletic, strong individual who I think will win minutes on the feet if this fight stays on the ground. I mean, stays standing. This one's a bit of a tough one to call because I think I'm going to be picking Jones here. I think Jones should win, but if Oki's a wide enough dog, I'm definitely willing to reconsider how I approach this one from a gambling perspective because he's got striking. Jones is hittable. Jones is the side here for me. Oki, depending on the line, possible dog play.
So they have Oki sitting at plus 138, the highest. I'm not sure I can really get behind that, especially since they're both going to land on each other. They both throw wide. They're both kind of durable. I got to go with the guy with the grappling edge here, Mason Jones. He said he got minus 170. Not sure I can get behind that line, to be frank with you. This fight's weird, and it's weird because you got to trust Mason to go to the wrestling. His name is the Dragon, even though he's a lot like...
This is Bruce Lee shit.
This is a fight where he should turn into Craig Jones as opposed to Mason Jones and just wrestle this fucking guy. So I think if he pushes the wrestling, he can definitely find the finish here. This is a guy who kind of fell into a Chris Duncan submission. Just want to put that out there, like fell into it. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not saying Chris Duncan's bad. Yeah. I'm not. He's big for the division. I fucking get it.
I think he just got caught, being honest.
But he kind of fell into the submission.
He did.
He did, right? So
but, I mean, you could also, I mean, listen, maybe it's a hot take. I think Duncan's probably a better grappler than Mason. I don't know.
I don't hate that take.
Yeah.
I don't hate that take. But what I will say is I think Mason, he has more paths to victory here. And I think that's the reason I'm leading him. Not sure I'm going to play him come close to the fight time. Would love to see a submission prop. If Oki gets up to a high number, like my brother said, I don't think a dog play here is going to be the worst thing. So give me Mason Jones for the lean. Give me Oki as a possible dog play. I'm not there, to be frank, but give me Mason Jones for the lean for sure.
Next fight on the card, and is currently constituted the co-main event of the evening. At lightweight, we have the God of War, Benoit Saint-Denis, going one-on-one with one shot, Mauricio Rufy. Benoit is 14-3 overall, fighting out of France, hailing from France, 29 years old. Rufy is 12-1 overall, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 29 years old. What an interesting fight we have here. We have one of two fighting nerds, you know, one in the co-main, one in the main event that we'll be discussing a little later here. Going against the God of War here, the hometown man, Benoit Saint-Denis. And on paper, Benoit Saint-Denis is the grappler. He should have the advantage here. He should win this fight, right? Rufy really hasn't been tested in the grappling department. Rufy is one of these, what do they call him? Like Brazilian Conor guys, right? He's very deadly striker, stands in the bladed stance, you know, power carries late. Benoit don't really have the greatest chin. I wouldn't say he has the greatest chin, but the man is hittable to a point where you can break him down, right? It's like kind of like taking a hammer to a center block. Eventually, the center block's gonna break. This one is weird, man, because I think Benoit should win. Nobody's tested Rufy. There's question marks there. We don't know how good the jiu-jitsu is. We don't know how good he looks like off his back. He is going to be taken down in this fight, I think.
His cardio is questionable even when he has his way.
And then Benoit Saint-Denis sitting as a dog. As a big of a dog that he is right now, that's kind of insane. I know like the UFC has this thing where it's like they really haven't been setting up these hometown guys in their countries to win. Canadians historically get waxed in Canada. The French, I think for the most part, I would to look at the statistics, but you know, I don't think they have the greatest track record in France either. I think that they're better than Canada for sure, but this fight it's kind of weird. I gotta pick the wrestler here, but would I be surprised if Rufy, I mean, to the nickname, one-shots him? No, I wouldn't be. These fighting nerds dudes, they're a different breed of Brazilian, man. This next generation of Brazilian is crazy out here.
There's something in the water of Brazil.
I don't know. There's something in the water of the fighting nerds can't. Test them, boys. I don't know what's going on.
Allegedly,
of course. Give me Benoit. He should win, but I'm not that confident. I won't lie to you. This co-main event kind of scares me a bit.
Yeah, this is a great fight, to your point, and this is why the UFC, this whole card, ladies and gentlemen, is a little hard to cap. But this is one of those fights where I think BSD sitting at plus 175 is fucking insane. With a guy who does a lot of his best work with his kicks, BSD's gonna pressure him. He's not gonna be able to get a lot of those kicks off. His boxing's not bad either, Rufy, so I'm not gonna completely diminish what he can do to BSD, considering BSD, I believe, is a little shop-worn at this point. After that Dustin knockout, he has not been wearing punches the same way.
Yeah, the striking defense is not there.
It's dog shit, right?
The guy's hittable, and again, the chin is breakable. On top of the fact that you got to worry about whether Benoit comes in like with no fucking staph infection or something like that. Because I swear, I think it was like back-to-back fights. This guy's coming in with some kind of like...
He likes training on fucking dirty mats, bro.
I don't know what's going on.
It's crazy. Like, and I hate to sound terrible like that, but yeah, there's a lot of question marks with BSD. Rufy seems like a guy that the UFC is trying to get behind. He's super explosive, super fun, but there's a guy whose grappling has not been tested. His wrestling has not been tested.
Huge step up.
Huge step up. Like, this is not James Lontop, bro. This is fucking Benoit Saint-Denis.
Yeah, this ain't Goku.
Yeah, this ain't fuck Goku. You know what I'm saying? Like, that guy, he should not have that fucking name.
No, he should not.
He fucking annoys me. But it's a situation where it's like BSD, at plus 175 against a guy with all the wrestling and grappling deficiencies that we have not seen yet, and then the gas tank issues that we have seen. This is Benoit Saint-Denis all day, every day, twice on Sunday as a play here. I think he's definitely going to get a dog shot play for me, because until someone shows me otherwise, Rufi is not fucking Moicano or Charles Oliveira off his back, or even if he gets on top of you.
Yeah, it's just the danger of the unknown. We just haven't seen the man tested. I'm gonna assume that since he's from Brazil, you know,
with that team,
he's gotta have some jiu-jitsu, right?
Those boys all can wrestle, I'm sure, but this is not John Silva either. He sounds like a fucker. Yeah. He looks like a fucker. He looks like a guy that can fuck up that division.
And we're not be surprised if Mauricio just laces him.
Yeah, I'm not convinced on Rufi yet. This is the fight that's really going to show me a lot. This is the thing too. Rufi could land on him and hurt him. But unless you disconnect this fucker or the referee jumps in, the fight's going to continue. Because this is France. Moicano mounted him. I thought the fight should have got stopped, and he wound up winning the second round. The fight got stopped in the third because of cuts. So if Rufi's not going to melt him, I'm not sure Rufi's going to win this fight. And you have to convince me you can melt this fucking guy. So with that said, this is a Benoit Saint-Denis play, probably close to the fight time. Follow us on all social media platforms as usual. But this is a guy, got to lean with the better wrestler and grappler here, and the more battle-tested guy. So give me BSD for the lean here.
Next fight on the card at men's middleweight, and is currently constituted the main event of the evening. We have the sniper Nassourdine Imavov going one-on-one with the natural Caio Borralho. Imavov, 16-4 overall, fighting out of France, repping France, 29 years old. Borralho is 17-1 overall, fighting out of Brazil, repping Brazil, 32 years old. This fight is interesting. This is one of two fights that Dana White, it's Imavov and Borralho on one end, and who are the other two middleweights that are in title contention? I forgot.
Fluffy Hernandez and RDR.
Fluffy Hernandez and RDR. Now, Dana White has been on record. He went on record and saying, hey, whoever has the most spectacular win of the two fights here is next in line. When I think spectacular, I don't think this fight. Not because I don't think it's going to be a good fight, but it does have the potential to be a little boring. Borralho on one end, not the greatest finisher, you know, that we've seen so far in the UFC. Imavov, very technical, the better striker for sure. Underrated wrestling, the better resume. The guy's got a very impressive list of the who's who, especially in his last couple wins leading up to this fight. Borralho definitely has jiu-jitsu. Underrated striker, but I don't think he's going to have any, he's definitely going to be at a disadvantage in the striking department here.
Correct. But Borralho, to his credit, has been fixing up his striking, has been fighting very well from the outside. And I would say his jiu-jitsu is actually more control-based. He hasn't finished a lot of guys at this level. And that's something I kind of noticed that was a glaring hole when I was analyzing the fight footage and analyzing the resume here. So
No, it's one of those things where he doesn't force the finish, but he'll let you make the mistake so he can get the finish. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, he never really puts himself in any kind of compromising positions where he'll give up position. It's an interesting fight because it's do I think Imavov's grappling, do I think his wrestling is enough to mitigate Borralho's jiu-jitsu? He hasn't fought a jiu-jitsu player like Borralho.
Well, he fought Brendan Allen.
Right?
So, and Brendan Allen, to his credit, he looked like a minus 800 in the first round of that fight. He controlled him. He landed damage. He advanced position. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is definitely Borralho's fight to lose, if you're asking me. Gun to the head.
It's tough because I almost feel like it's Imavov's fight to lose. I don't know. This one is very tough to call. I get the odds. I get why they're as close as they're lined.
I feel like the odds are also dropping because Borralho fucking cut weight 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And by the way, that's another thing that me and my brother fucking hated. And we're like, okay, he's off this card, right? Nope. The motherfucker said, I'm going to make weight as a backup for the main event, and I'm going to come and fight this fight. Because he thinks, and he kind of went on a rant about how Imavov's wrestling ain't shit in one of the post fights after the main event 2 weeks ago with Khamzat, right? So I'm curious to see how long ago they trained. That's something I have not had time to go into, ladies and gentlemen. But if that is the case, I'm going to trust Borralho to get the fight to the floor because he knows Imavov's tendencies. I also seen Brendan Allen. If Brendan Allen had better fight IQ and a better gas tank, he wins that fight against Imavov.
Yeah, so this one is if you ask me if I think it goes the distance, I think more likely than not.
Agreed. Agreed.
probably put the percentage maybe around 65-35, maybe even 70-30.
The over is not a bad look here. If it's a nice number and it's, I would say like, if it's 3.5, you smash. If it's 4.5, unit straight up. I think it goes all the way too.
Again, Brandon Allen was a very good jiu-jitsu player. I do think Borralho's better. There's probably a more likelihood for the finish. Man, this one's tough to go on record. I don't know how I feel. I don't know which way I want to lean on this one.
Yeah, and I don't blame you. It is a high variance fight in a lot of ways because I feel like both of these boys have something to prove. Borralho might be hungry for the finish just because of what he's seen from these other middleweights, Fluffy and Khamzat the last 2 weeks. So he might want to put a stamp to jump the queue in front of RDR and Fluffy because they are going to fight now.
But it's like one of those things where Imavov is like, he's been quiet, he's been keeping his head down, and every time he makes an appearance in the octagon, he looks better.
He seems to rise to the occasion.
Yeah, so it's like, man,
And then even the over, like we're saying the over, I feel pretty good about it, but considering the motivation behind these boys, if there was a stoppage, am I going to be surprised? No, I'm not, because you want to jump the queue in this fight, and to get to the belt of Khamzat, you got to emphatically put your hand down. You got to emphatically put your fist down and be like, fuck this shit, right? So
I'll bite the bullet. I think I'm going to slightly lean Imavov here. I think you're probably going to be on the opposite side. Yeah. And I don't blame you because Borralho is a motherfucker, man. And these fighting nerds guys, again,
there's something in the water over there, bro. In that gym.
This new generation of Brazilians, there's something different. So I'll bite on the Imavov side, not with the highest degree of confidence. He is a very, very, very slight favorite.
Yeah, it's a pick 'em.
I'm curious on how this line really kind of opens up because it's probably the definition of dog or pass, if I'm being completely honest. So
agreed. It's a pick 'em. And there's a reason for that, ladies and gentlemen. And I think that it's a high variance fight. I'm going to lean Borralho. I'm on the other side here. But man, if Imavov wins, I'm not going to be surprised. It's a fight I'm probably going to stay off of, to be frank with you, just because when you have these high variance fights, you want to stay off of them because you don't know how they're going to go. I feel like this could be like a holy shit moment where Borralho chokes him. Imavov could fucking meme this guy. Let's just call it what it is.
He could style on him on the feet and just clap him.
Clap him, right? So for me, I like the over here. Don't love it. See how we're going to play it close to the fight time, just so you guys are assured and you know we're definitive on how we're looking at this fight. But I think the over is the only way I'm looking at this fight because it's neutral and I think these boys are both going to go to decision. Plus they've trained together, so I feel like this and that. But once again, to all my previous points, the motivation, Borralho with the double weight cuts, if his body, that I would like to actually see him make weight. So that's how this is going to go too. I would actually like to see him make weight this week, see how he looks. A lot of things. It's too many variables. And when you have this many variables, you should probably stay off the fight. Follow us on all social media platforms to see how we're going to cap it. I'm on Borralho. My brother's on Imavov. Fuck it. Double knockout draw.
We both win.
We both win. Give me Borralho, but man, not with a high degree of confidence.
And that does it for UFC Paris. We're moving right along to the sweet science. And we got a couple of boxing fights we'd like to discuss. We'll kick it off. They're both in Mexico, but they're two different, promotions, or they're going to be on two different broadcasts, two different cards. But the main event for one of the two fights we're going to be discussing is Oscar Valdez going one-on-one with Ricky Medina. Valdez is 32-3 overall, fighting out of Mexico, repping Mexico, 34 years old. Medina is 16-3 overall, fighting out of San Antonio, Texas, 24 years old.
Yeah, so both of these main events, ladies and gentlemen, the lines are completely blown out. I'm going to be honest with you, so we'll just start with one, then work into the other. I don't agree with Oscar Valdez at this point in his career being a minus 1,800 against anybody, probably except for Ricky Medina. And the reason being is because, yes, Oscar, me and my brother have been having this talk, and we love Oscar Valdez in this podcast. He is a fucking phenomenal boxer. I love him. I love his style. Good power, decent chin. But the chin and the wear and tear have come around lately. You've seen him get stopped by Navarrete lately. Credit to him, and good for him in this fight. He's fighting a guy who's a little over a 50% finisher. Not a lot of pop in his shots. A guy who has trouble fighting from the outside. Valdez can fight from the outside, fight from his back foot. He's a good counter puncher under Canelo's trainer, Eddie Reynoso. I feel like this is a fight that Valdez is being gift wrapped to kind of get back on his feet so he can be revamped for another bigger fight. Give me Oscar Valdez to get this fight done mid to late rounds. I think he stops him. I think this is a little too much too soon for Ricky Medina. Ricky Medina has been dropped in some of his previous contests. Give me Oscar Valdez by mid to late round stoppage here. Can't bet the money line, so we'll see what the props look like close to the fight time. Follow us on all social media platforms as usual.
Moving right along to our second of two fights that we're going to be covering for the IBF World Super Featherweight title. We have Eduardo Nunez going one-on-one with Christopher Diaz. Nunez is 28-1 overall. The champion is fighting out of Mexico, repping Mexico, 28 years old. The challenger, Diaz, is 30-5 overall. Fighting out of Puerto Rico, repping Puerto Rico, 30 years old.
Guys, if you haven't seen Eduardo Nunez fight, prepare yourself. This guy is a fucking hammer. He has 28 wins, 27 of them by knockout. So he's only been to decision once in one of his wins. He has one loss. It was a little questionable. He lost to Hiram Gallardo years ago. It was via, I think, a decision, if I'm correct, if I remember correctly. But regardless, this guy's fucking durable. He moves into the space very well, lands damage, hits hard. This fight with Christopher Diaz Velez, technically, that's his name, you know, on paper, but it's Christopher Diaz. The more entertaining fight of the two. It's also probably going to be the more competitive fight of the two. We have a Christopher Diaz, 30 wins, 19 knockouts, does have decent pop in his shots, 75, 70-ish% finisher. He's been in there with Shakur Stevenson, Isaac Dogbe, Emmanuel Navarrete. Navarrete being the only one that stopped him late in the fight, was able to drop him multiple times and land damage. The fact that Navarrete, and I get it, he's super awkward, but he does not hit like this guy. This guy, Nunez. Nunez is like looks like he's built like a fucking fire hydrant in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Like the one that gets opened up and then closed and opened up and then closed.
Yeah, especially during the summer when it's hot.
Yeah. He's a beast. I love his style. I picked him his last fight when he was in Japan. I'm going to pick him here again. I think this fight gets done in the mid rounds because Eduardo is gonna pressure him. Diaz does have the tendency to pressure. I think that's his best way to win this fight, but I trust Nunez off of his back foot too. I think Nunez makes good decisions off his back foot, and I trust his chin a little more than I trust Diaz's chin at this point of their careers. Give me Eduardo Nunez here to win this fight via knockout. I'll say mid rounds. We'll see how everything shakes out when it comes to the betting and when the lines drop, but it's hard for me to dismiss that Nunez is not going to win this fight by knockout. Diaz could meme him. I just don't see it happening because Diaz does crack, but Nunez, good chin, good everything else. Give me Nunez here by knockout.
And that does it for our combat coverage. Episode 113 in the books. My brother, tell him what the deal is. Just take us home.
Like, comment, subscribe, follow Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Everybody enjoying the visual portion of this podcast. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date.
And for all of our audio listeners, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, you already know. Love you guys. Holla at you guys. See you next week for episode 114. Keep the subs, keep the comments coming. We see them. Love you guys. Later. Peace. All love. Holla. Enjoy your Labor Day weekend. Later.